Running through the street when the money don't need. Say we need some money for some food to eat. Said it's hard. Said it's hard, you know. Running through the street when the money don't need. Say we need some money for some food to eat. Said it's hard. Said it's hard, you know.
Spirit of Markice Moore, I feel it so from head to toe, leading and feeding my body. I stick to the code, I never fold, no weapon on earth can harm me. God bless my foes, I'm out of control, teaching this God body. I'm reaching my God body, deeper than Bob Marley, racing with Ricky Bobby. We street tested and invest in a wide body, no rest. The streets are test, but we risk it and connect with Poppy Divine. But we doing time cause our lines was moving sloppy. They watch me, they wanna pop me, they watch me, I swear they watch me. I'm Islam mixed with the hustle, I'm Malcolm in a Maserati. I'm chasing elevation, frustrating Illuminati. I'm Huey leading the Panthers with answers, no one can stop me. I broke the code of the Matrix, it's basic, I'm printing copies. I'm repping for Harriet Tubman, she got me, they'll never knock me. And it's they'll never knock me. I know she got me.
Running through the street when the money don't need. Say we need some money for some food to eat. Said it's hard. Said it's hard, you know. Running through the street when the money don't need. Say we need some money for some food to eat. Said it's hard. Said it's hard, you know.
I'm on the middle step on the stairway to heaven. I'm coming as one, but guarded by 11. My whole circle driven, and all of us brethren. We using our visions as tools for manifesting. Manifesting all types of blessings. And I can't say the last time this brother seen a reverend. It's been a while since I sat down on the pew, but I can keep my head down, stay on the grind and pay my dues. Hey, I can spot a mountain, I can climb it too. I can spot a broken bridge and replace the missing screws. See a team of young kings and lace them with some Jews. I can play the game of life, hey, and never really lose. I can pull up in a photo coupe with no fumes. I can live a whole life and never see a tomb. I can find the right wife and forever be a groom. I can plant a million seeds and watch a million blooms. Stay in tune, stay in tune.
God vibes only.
Peace. You're now tuned into the First We Build podcast. I'm your humble host, Harut, and this is episode 8. Indeed. But for those who don't know, I am the CEO and founder of Push It Forward Media Group and Ninth Lord Films. I'm a filmmaker, podcast producer, and this is the 4th podcast that we've added to the Push It Forward podcast network. So big up to that. All right, so we had like a little week off or so. I've been in the background taking care of a lot of different things, reorganizing things, putting some things together or whatnot. So I think we got a good little system going now. So I owed a episode. So, that's why we here doing this on a Friday or whatnot, and I think we got a good subject today, right? But, as tradition, as we said on this, this particular podcast, I'm always go over my regimen and everything like that. So, today is always, pour that libation, showing love to the ancestors and our creator and the way that it manifests itself in the world. And I did Dumo breathing, and I can't remember what episode it was, but I went and I showed a video of some Tibetan monks doing the Dumo breathing up in the mountains and able to raise their body temperature to a level that they can melt snow, they can increase their metabolism, so that Dumo breathing, if you're doing it consistently and you're doing it the correct way, has some tremendous benefits. So big ups to that. So that's what I did today and whatnot. But I want to give some updates just in general, push it forward. So if you watched our last episode, season 4, episode 18 of season 4 of the Cosmic Convos podcast, I'll let you guys know that I'm splitting out the YouTube channel. So I started another YouTube channel, Ninth Lord Films. Make sure you go subscribe to Ninth Lord Films. And I almost forgot, make sure that you, if it's your first time out here, make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this video and hit that notification bell or whatnot so you can know when we go live, right? Or drop new content. So Ninth Lord Films channel is going to be basically all of the film related stuff, right? So I'm not going to take any of the films that's on Push It Forward on this channel. I'm not going to take anything off of there, but I'm going to de-emphasize it, and I'm going to re-upload all of that content plus some new content on the Ninth Lord Films channel. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to that. If you go to the channel, you will see Content Family. Click on Ninth Lord Films, subscribe there. You'll also see Brother Rod's YouTube channel, Calipurusha. Make sure you go and subscribe there over there as well, because I know he's about to start getting more active on that guy as well. So, big up to that, man. Big up to, independent media, man, being able to, do our thing without going through the gatekeepers or whatnot. So definitely go show some love there. All right. And, while I'm talking about Ninth Lord Films, the next film is gearing up to be dropped. It's going to be a little shorter than the last film we did, because I'm trying to get into a flow to where I'm able to drop films more frequently. And I think, just even shorten them up even more right now would be a good look. I can get a lot of good content out by doing that. So I've upgraded a lot of my equipment over these past month or so. Got a lot of different things done. Been working on some scripts, and I have one script that we're geared up and ready to shoot. Just need a couple of more actors to get on board, and then we are good to go. So I'm definitely excited for y'all to check that out as well or whatnot, man. So, we're trucking along and whatnot, but without further ado, I want to get into today's episode. All right. And in today's episode, I wanted to touch on a topic. I wanted to, share a personal story, and I will be doing that from time to time. I got a couple of these geared up, but I was inspired to do this show because I actually was watching the new BMF series on Stars that 50 Cent did. So big up to that, man. That's actually a a classic. It's a classic American story. A lot of different groups, came to this country and made their wealth, built their foundation off the underworld, and the BMF story is no different than that. It's just a Black American story, right? And I was definitely tuned into that because I'm not originally from Atlanta, but I live here in Atlanta. I've been here for years. This is definitely my second home for sure, or whatnot. So I was around when that was going on. You understand what I'm saying? And this story comes from right around that time period and stuff like that. And interesting thing too, Big Meech from BMF, he's actually born in Cleveland, Ohio as well. I know he grew up in Detroit, but he was born in Cleveland, so big up to all the Ohio-born babies out there or whatnot. We're working on something special with that too, so stay tuned or whatnot. Cosmic Convos, if you know where I'm getting at, right? But I wanted to share this story of when I lost a battle, right? So for those of you who don't know, from age 14 to about 22, I was pursuing a music career, like a lot of people have, but I actually had some excellent opportunities ahead of me. They were good enough for me to withdraw from school sports. I played football when I was in high school, and I also wrestled. And wrestling to me, I think was a very promising route for me, for sure. I think if I would have really stuck with it my junior and senior year of high school, I could have got a scholarship wrestling somewhere because I liked it and I was good at it and I was getting better. I was definitely getting better at it, for sure. But my passion at the time, and it still is, it's just transformed more into this space, more into the film and media space, was creating. You understand what I'm saying? So I was doing music and, specifically rap. And, this is around the time when I was 16 years old. I had a production deal with a very, very successful producer in the music business by the name of Teddy Bishop. He was mainly in the R&B world, but, he was, so connected in that world. He lended his hip hop contacts and connections to me as well, or whatnot. So Teddy Bishop, he did I guess some notable songs was Just Be a Man About It from Tony Braxton. Remember that song Let's Ride from Montel Jordan, was it Williams? Whichever one sings This Is How We Do It, right? He did that, and he did, when what's her name from Destiny's Child, what is her name? She came back as a solo artist, not Kelly, but the other one. I can't remember her name, but she had a song called Frozen. I can't remember. It'll come to me. But anyways, he produced that too. He produced most of her album, and it was a smash. So he was doing some big things, man. And matter of fact, at that time period, man, I was, me and my brother at the same time of me working with this producer, me and my brother was trying to build up our own team at the same time or whatnot. And, we had our studio and stuff like that. And my brother had some people that he knew or whatnot. And, we would go to other people's studio, and I was young. So they'd be like, why don't you bring your brother up? Let's, do a song with this, one of my artists, do a song with this guy and stuff like that. And this is 2004, right? 2003, 2004. Or whatnot. So the music industry is way different than what it is now. I mean, the internet wasn't even nowhere near to the level of what it is now. I mean, you have MySpace, and Facebook is just now getting off the ground, if any. I don't even think it was really even off the ground yet. I think at that time you might have needed to been in college to even have a Facebook. So, the channels to getting out your music and, getting recognized was still very old school, like in the 90s, face to face, hand somebody a CD, this type of thing, But so we were still kind of function in that capacity, and my brother had some partners that he knew from back in the day that was doing music and some other things, by the name of Streetwise Entertainment. Shout out to them, man. They was always real solid brothers or whatnot. And so one night, they hit my brother up and was like, hey, bring your brother up. We want him to hang out with us and stuff like that, and then do a track. So I came up there, we just kicked it at that spot. They had a nice little loft studio set up and stuff like that, so it was a cool spot. And I did a song with one of the artists that they had, and this was an artist guy from the West Coast or whatnot, and we did like this real West Coast song and stuff like that. And I went on there and I dropped like 2 verses on the song, and everybody loved it. You understand what I'm saying? In fact, they was it was people in the circle was saying like, yo, man, you let a 16-year-old kill you on your own song, right? And I didn't feel that way. I was matching the vibe, just doing the song. You know what I mean? I wasn't on that type of time. I just was, just hungry, wanting to, wherever I can, drop a song or do something that can help get my career further. I was about that. You understand what I'm saying? And, so I did that. And, I guess, I don't know. It's the stories, it gets a little blurry, but, from what I remember, some people didn't like that part of it that much. You understand what I'm saying? Like he didn't like people saying that a 16-year-old, kind of killed him on his own song, right? Or whatnot. And at the time this wasn't even on my radar. I wasn't even thinking about that. And, interesting enough, speaking of BMF, Streetwise they wasn't connect. They were associates of them. You understand what I'm saying? Back in the day or whatnot, so this is interesting how all this kind of connects together. But so, we did that. We went home, went about our business, maybe like a week or so later, they hit my brother up again. It's like, yo, we got this young artist name. I think his name, he went by Kisan right there. And this brings me to the brother I'm talking about that I battled. Kisan, y'all, they around the same age. He might be a little older, but I want them to come up and have them do a song together. It'd be good for both of them. You understand what I'm saying? So we was like, bet. So, we get everything together, pull up to their studio, and I come up, I'm thinking, I got my, my rhyme book at the time and everything. I'm thinking I'm about to drop a song, right? And then I look, I see him, right? And he was a shorter guy, but he was definitely older than me. Like I was like 15 years old, 15, 16. He was about 17, 18, I believe at the time or whatnot. But, I see him like, kind of like walking back like he in a boxing ring and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, what's going on? What's this? You know what I mean? We're going to drop. And then, he had his brothers with him, they were his managers and stuff like that. And they was like, yo, y'all ready to go? And we was like, what's up? What y'all talking about? And then he was like, oh, yeah, we want them to spar a little bit. We want them to battle. Or whatnot, And, I wasn't on that type of time at all. But he was. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't know who I'm talking about, this guy, his name is Markice Moore, right? And he's a prominent actor right now. You understand what I'm saying? I'll say I give him prominent, man, because he worked hard. I've seen him in a lot. You understand what I'm saying? I'll give some more background on this, but I just want to kind of get to the gist of the story. But, so they basically kind of like set up a sleep attack to battle. He pulled out a camera. They put out a camera and everything, right? And we went to battle, and his rhymes was boom, boom, boom. He was ready. Like, it was almost as if he had already had those rhymes prepared for the night before and then came to the battle with it. And I came just ready to go do a song. So I had like verses, but I wasn't even on that type of time. So long story short, we went back and forth. You know what I mean? I thought on my feet. You know what I'm saying? And did the best I could do with that, on my feet at that time. But he definitely got the best of me in that battle. So big up to that, right? Definitely got the best of me or whatnot. And, I was sorry about it, man. I really was kind of sorry about the situation, and like, I was just like, man, that was weird. You understand? But it taught me a valuable lesson, right? And, essentially, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. And the other part of that lesson is you are always in competition, right? And that sounds weird, but that's the nature of this country. That's the nature of Western culture, what we live in, right? If you live in America, you live in a free enterprise, capitalistic society, then we are always in competition. You understand what I'm saying? You could be out here just trying to do your thing, and people are competing with you even if you're not competing with them. So that message was driven home loud and clear that day, because I definitely didn't like the way that felt. You understand what I'm saying? I was younger too and stuff like that. It caught me completely off guard. And just to get some background on the brother that I'm talking about real quick, let me share my screen real quick. Here's a clip. So his name is Markice Moore. He's in the new BMF series, but he's also been in The Walking Dead and a bunch of stuff too. So if you can see this real quick, let me blow this up real quick. Can y'all see that? Yeah. So if y'all watch anybody Walking Dead fans, this is the guy I'm talking about. That guy right there. Fair use, fair use.
Shoot! We can take back this prison. What you waiting for? Do it! It's our house! Shoot him!
Yeah, or whatnot. And he is also in the new BMF series as well, or whatnot. So, hold up, I got this right here. Boom. If you guys can see this, yeah. So I came across this post the other day on Instagram. I thought it was kind of funny, cause he been in a lot of little stuff lately, man. And they, somebody on Instagram said they're gonna put two of these brothers in every drug show, and that's the one dude right there that's on the Raising Kanan show that 50 Cent got, and then that's the dude that I battled, Markice Moore, or whatnot. So he's doing his thing. I see he still, kept that same attitude. You understand what I'm saying? And translated it off into the acting space and stuff like that. So big up to him, or whatnot. Very good actor, but. From that experience, man, it kind of, brought me to something as well in regards to just our community as well, right? Overall, a lot of times people like to say things, about, the black community, we don't need to work together, right? There's some people who are successful and say, hey, I work with everybody. I work with anybody who has my best interests at heart, right? And I think we all do to a certain degree. But one important thing that we have to remember as a community is that all of these other cultural groups are in competition with us, right? Even if it's not like visible. You understand what I'm saying? There's an underlying level of competition amongst every point of demographic in this country, or whatnot. People are competing with you, even if you're not competing with them, right? And, this is going to dig into a show that I'm going to do probably next, in regards to, just how the black community has changed, over time. And, when the black community, when we first came out of slavery, like, we were competing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we were a competitive group. That was the mentality. That's how we thought about things. We were like, look, we're trying to shake off these 400 years of, of slavery and all these situations, and we're trying to show the world that we're about business, right? And that's why and we were competing even in slavery. Forgot to say, I'm drinking yerba mate right now, so big up to that. That's what's in my cup. Right. So, we were about our business at that time, and it just seems like maybe the past four decades or so, like we've been really off our eyes have been off of the prize for a while. You understand what I'm saying? Like we're not competing as a group anymore. We want to see ourselves as individuals and don't want to, bound together and go out here and be a formidable group, be a force to reckon with. Right? We're not war ready. We're not really war ready. There's a lot of activism, a lot of different things like that that's going on right now, but it's not from a competitive perspective. Like we're over here trying to fight for equality when other people wants to beat us. They don't want to be equal. They want to beat us. They want to maintain their rank above us in their scheme of things, in their system or whatnot. And that's something that we can't sneeze at. And like in that situation where it was a very interesting time for me when that happened or whatnot. My eyes wasn't on that prize. You understand what I'm saying? Like I wanted to be successful in the music industry or whatnot, but I wasn't ready for anything, and especially in that time period. Nowadays, the music industry has softened up a little bit. It's like it's like lines of demarcation have been set, but back in those days, battling was almost like a rites of passage. You understand what I'm saying? And I, up until that point, I had been battling and stuff like that, but I always went to when I was battling, I was, I knew that I was battling when I was going in the room. So that was different. You understand what I'm saying? So in that time period, it was almost like if you called yourself a rapper, right? You had to gnash you understand what I'm saying? You had to gnash your teeth. You had to, get dirty a little bit in regards to competing with other rappers. You had to. Or whatnot. Like you hear stories about when Jay-Z was coming up and he battled LL Cool J. He battled DMX and all these things. In that time period, the rap game was still like that. You understand what I'm saying? And I got hit with a sneak attack. You feel me? I got hit with a real live sneak attack. And right now, as I look at the black community, as I look at our situation, what we're going through, kind of what's happening economically in the world, in this country, I think we might be ripe for a sneak attack, for a rude awakening that we wasn't prepared for, or whatnot. I don't know. I mean, drop it in the comments if you feel where I'm coming from on this, right? Because, the past couple years, especially since George Floyd, and it was brewing, from Trayvon Martin and all those different things, but from George Floyd and everything like that, you've seen a lot of industries, you've seen a lot of things politically, a lot of politicians and stuff starts pandering to this sort of new form of black agenda, right? To a certain degree, right? Obliging, to, what Black Lives Matter is pushing for and a bunch of other justice groups that's pushing for, right? But, a lot of people think that, eventually they're going to give and we're going to get some concessions. And in the next show that we do in episode 9, I'm going to go over something. It's going to be a good show. So you definitely want to tune into that for sure. But, this country doesn't have a history of conceding to black people at all. Doesn't have a history of conceding to black people. And, I'm going to dig in a little bit more or whatnot. I'm going to look a little bit more, but just on the horizon for me, what I'm looking at, I think, you know, we might see some drawbacks come, right? Because there's already talk of affirmative action being drawn back, right? So we're not moving towards a situation where they're creating more opportunities for black people to do their thing. It seems like, you know, they may give the image of doing that, but in actual action, they're actually taking more away. You understand what I'm saying? You know, actually making it harder to get in certain opportunities, you know, or making it so that if we give you the opportunity, it's going to be on these particular terms. You're not going to be able to come in there and just do your thing, right? And that's the nature of this country. That's the nature of American Western country. Always trying to get an edge. It's capitalism. Always climbing to the top, right? And I see a lot of criticism. You understand what I'm saying? Especially a lot of, you know, people from certain, you know, political leanings and stuff like that. You know, I hear a lot of conversation about, you know, black capitalism isn't going to save us, right? That you have to have government intervention. And, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but I don't think this government has any interest in intervening specifically on the behalf of black people or whatnot, you know? So if you're one of those that are thinking like that, that are thinking that, hey, you know, the government is going to come in and save us, we are for a rude awakening. You know, you might, you know, pull up to the next year and, you know, see Uncle Sam hop out with his battle rap clothes on. You understand what I'm saying? With his bars ready to go, ready to take you down or whatnot, you know? So I just wanted to leave y'all with that. And it's actually appropriate, you know, because we're heading towards a full moon in Aries, right? For my Cosmic Convos listeners and whatnot, you know, the sign of Aries is a warrior sign. It's a you know, it's a defensive sign. It's a combative sign or whatnot. So, you know, we're right here around the new moon at that time. And it just was on my mind, you know, on my spirit to really, you know, start gearing up, start buckling down and really get war ready. Remember that, you know, it's always game time, being ready for whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And that situation that I went through taught me that lesson. And I've never really looked at life, never really looked at my career prospects, anything like that, the same again. All right. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. I know this one's a little impromptu, missed a little bit of shows and stuff like that, but we're going to get right back on schedule or whatnot. You know, as always, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Leave your feedback. Go follow us on Instagram and everything so you can go and get connected with the rest of the podcasts on the Push It Forward Podcast Network. Definitely subscribe to the other channels in the content family as I referenced at the very beginning. And, you know, you guys be safe, and I'll be back again with episode 9. We'll get back on schedule with another great episode.